Okay, new episode.
Yay.
Your fake enthusiasm
No,
is ringing all throughout the universe.
It's actually real enthusiasm because we haven't done this for a while. You might not notice this. I had to hide my cable, but you might not notice this. But we took a little bit of working vacation because we had so much to do, and we recorded a lot of episodes beforehand. So it has been a long while since we actually sat down and recorded. So, what are we up to today?
For me, it's more about being home, than actually sitting down and recording. But yeah, you're correct.
So, what are we going to talk about today?
Today we are going to be talking about internet, its current state of affairs, its future potential state of affairs, and where it came from. There are many reasons why I kind of like got into this idea that we need to discuss this. It's a really popular topic as well. Maybe we have some unique perspectives that we can share with our listeners/viewers. So let's roll the intro and let's get chatting. Okay. Want to start or should I?
Let's start with Russia.
Of course.
And
can we please not get?
No. I'm not political.
Please do not say that word.
So
I'm going to cut out a few words from this episode already. I know that.
So let's talk about Eastern countries, or. So to make it easier to cut it out, let's not talk about politics. Let's talk about geopolitics and the internet politics, because what we need to talk about, and the thing that I was actually reading something and writing something about last week, which you don't know, was the potential split of DNS servers.
Okay.
There was an article which I read somewhere. I need to find it, and then I'll put it back. Put it in the description, which was discussing how the DNS and how the services, especially now that half of the world is at war, the DNS is splitting, and there is
Please
a lot of.
Stop using those words.
Okay, so we are not going to use the words like.
All of the above. Please use the word conflict.
And then
then I'm going to have to cut for 3 hours.
No, so let's not do actionable threats, but let's stick that we need sometimes to talk about things like P words and state
W
words, double words,
S words.
No. But the thing is that what is happening is that large countries like China, like Russia, like Brazil, and basically BRICS, what they're doing is they are covering a huge amount of population, and they tend to, they are right now in the middle of trying to completely control their own internet. And the way they are doing it is usually by filtering DNS. And there is a concern that the DNS is going to split into multiple parts that are not going to communicate with each other, because the whole BGP sharing and everything else is getting slowed down, because in order to filter the DNS and to filter the internet traffic, what you need to do, you need to filter it through a single point. And then what you do, you need to manipulate the BGP tables. And by manipulating the BGP tables,
routing tables.
Yes. So basically, what they are doing is they are routing the different providers that they have. For example, in Russia, there are over 50 different internet exchanges, not providers, because Russia and China are huge. If people didn't notice this, these are huge countries.
Thank you for the basic geography lesson.
Yes, but the thing is that with the enormousness of the country comes the number of different operators, because they are operators that are as small as a single part of the city, and there are operators that are operating on the scale of the entire country. So routing between them and trying to filter the traffic between them and the internet is extremely complicated if you are unable to push it through a single point. And once you get to a time when you can actually push all the internet through a single point of traffic, then you say, okay, do I actually need to communicate with the rest of the internet? So some of the countries are getting completely geo-blocked. Some of the countries are getting DNS blocked. Some of the countries from both sides. So from the western side and from the eastern side. So right now the internet is on the brink of actually splitting apart.
It is fragmented. That's what you wanted to say.
Yes, but the internet is now fragmented, but it looks like it could split.
Okay.
So by splitting, I mean the entire set of root DNSs for different countries, and then you cannot actually resolve some of the sites on the internet.
Okay.
It could be even possible that some of them are going to come to a bright idea of duplicating IP addresses.
Cannot wait for that to happen. That might kill the idea of IPv6, which I enormously like. Maybe they are going to have to issue IPv4 v2.
The
Imagine
remix,
that.
the remix.
The remix, yes, the best hits.
But I was from what I remember, the IPv4 was supposed to be exhausted 10 years ago, 4 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
When we were at college.
Yes. And the IPv6 is now the ruler, and everybody's using the only IPv6.
Not.
Yes, but this is also one of the things that belongs to the state of the internet, because the internet itself has become pretty resilient to change.
Okay.
IPv4 is obviously completely immortal. Mm-hmm. It is going to stay in the running for the foreseeable future. Even the exhaustion of the entire IP pool basically means just that the price of the single IP address has gone up. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact that there have been a couple of organizations, especially in the States, who are just dealing with the addresses because they have them. So one of the things where you can make a profit right now is to a second-hand market of the IP addresses. And this makes absolutely no sense from one point.
Second-hand market.
Yes, there is a second-hand market.
I know, I understand.
But the thing is that you can resell the IP addresses. You used to could just resell the names. Now you're reselling the IP addresses. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's next.
MAC addresses?
Oh, you can get those for free. That's not a problem. You can fake them for free, so nobody cares. But the thing is that the internet itself is in a pretty bad shape in one hand, and on the other hand, I have seen that there are a lot of new things happening, especially when it comes to all the things that I shouldn't be mentioning by name in the podcast like this.
Okay.
But I can see that a lot of alternative places for document exchange, for music exchange, for video exchange, and so on exist. And they are quite alive.
What, Tors and stuff like that?
Not only Tors, but what has actually happened is that what is expected to happen. So the torrents went undercover, and now there are torrents that are invite only, that are using encrypted traffic, that have tens of thousands of users. And I haven't seen a lot of those be mentioned in the news. And I know that a couple of them are existing for the last 20 years or so. Nobody's trying to battle the privacy anymore.
Piracy, you mean?
The privacy and the piracy. Sorry, I was talking about privacy because there was a talk about. Now, so I need to explain a little bit of my thought of consciousness today.
Stream of consciousness.
I basically overslept today. Because this is the day we are recording on Sunday, and this is the day. No, I need to think about it because this is the day when we switch to the winter time. So we got a whole new hour to sleep in. And the thing was that I was working with something connected to Opera, the browser. Mm-hmm. The thing was that I was trying to understand how different browsers are handling the synchronization of data. what is basically happening right now is that you can get Chrome to synchronize your data across all the devices. You can get Firefox to do this. You can get Edge to do this. You can get Opera to do this. So everybody has their own way of dealing with the data. And what I was actually interested in was how GDPR compliant all of this is.
That's a very good topic for an episode.
Yes, because the Opera is registered, I think, in Norway. And I think they're a Norwegian company. And they have a whole set of different rules and regulations that they're dealing with when they're synchronizing our profiles.
One more thing.
Yes.
It's an excellent topic for a scientific paper.
Yes, I know. And the thing is that what I was looking at was that everybody keeps...
Gonna write this down. Just go ahead.
Everybody
you know
keeps talking about. Everybody keeps talking about the privacy and the problems on the internet and so on. But nobody's actually thinking about what the actual repercussions are going to be of the different laws and different rules that we are imposing on the internet creators. So I have seen a couple of things, and there are a couple of things that actually make me completely puzzled on what is actually happening. I'm right now trying to give up on Twitter once again, or X. And I must say that it is working.
It is.
And unless you are on Twitter every day, after a few days, basically Twitter looks like another hellhole of a news source. And then you decide that you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. Mm-hmm. And what has turned the Twitter completely off for me was the usage of the AI bots.
Okay.
It's not the negativity, it's the usage of the bots themselves. So when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about how different companies and different social networks are dealing with the GDPR problem. Mm-hmm. Because GDPR problem, from one perspective, is not only the actual... the answer on GDPR is who is actually doing what with your data. Mm-hmm. So we have a data processor and you have the data storage. Storage is simple to understand. You have servers somewhere. Those servers store your data. That's it. But now the data processing is happening both inside and outside of EU. And if I'm on Twitter, nobody can stop somebody from AI processing my data outside the EU. Mm-hmm. And this is wholly unregulated because it should be covered under GDPR. And the way that Twitter works and all the different networks work nowadays is that they are not only learning based on your tweets, but also hundreds of thousands of random people have put up their own bots, and they are doing different things in order to get attention. So that GDPR kind of worms is basically something that I was thinking about yesterday, and then the whole Opera thing came along. So when I need to think what is happening on the internet right now, the internet split, the overwhelming number of cheap bots that are completely useless, and the complete downfall of the entirety of the social networking that I can think of. Because I don't know if there is any social network that actually works now.
I would add to that story a couple of points. Basically, again, might be a little bit down the memory lane, but when you look at the origins of the internet, which is basically in the 60s in some of the DARPA projects, and then 70s and 80s, internet entered its academic research, whatnot phase. And the commercialization of that started basically in the 90s, around the time when you and later on I started using the internet. Everything that is happening today, is completely against the idea of how it was at the beginning, which is one of the topics that I wanted to discuss. And it's not only that, it is getting to a point at which it is even more visible how much internet was not invented for this age, technologically speaking. That's the reason why we are constantly patching things on the net, because the way in which the protocols work and whatnot, we are constantly trying to invent new encryption and whatnot ideas to protect the data. But the problem is the fact that the network itself wasn't invented for the use case that it's being used now, and everything flows from that. Maybe there's a research, or maybe there's another paradigm that needs to be born for the future in that respect, something that is going to replace internet.
But to be completely honest, the first 20-ish years, up to, let's say, 2005, the internet was meant, and all the protocols were meant to support the working of the internet and to make it more resilient and to open it as much as possible.
Yeah.
You remember the finger protocol, so you could actually see who is logged into
On
which
another
computer
Unix server, yeah.
on another server. You could actually do your own plan and your own.
You could write messages to that person on another server.
Yes,
Talk to him
and you could
messages.
also post the entirety of your personal information on in your plan, because the idea was to be able to be contacted. So if I wanted to contact you on a different server, I could just go and look up your .plan file, and you would probably put inside not only your first name and last name, but your number, your postal address, and everything else that is connected to your job. So right now, the idea of you posting the entirety of your contact information on the internet is ludicrous. So the SMTP protocol was intended to be resilient. So it was intended to be routable. It was intended to be able to relay messages if the messages cannot be routed directly, and so on. Now this is completely off the grid. When we are dealing with all the different protocols, the web protocol, the intention was not to be able to compress things and to encrypt things. The intention was just for the websites to work.
Yeah, send and receive.
So what has become is that the security and all the different ways of misusing the internet are rampant.
Yes, because it became so widely popular, and the price of the devices went down, so you can do things today that you couldn't imagine doing 20, 30 years ago. So we're not complaining per se, because, general after the battle principle never works. It would be completely stupid to do that. But still, there are things that need to be discussed here, and there are obvious problems with the way in which internet is being used and abused today.
But yes, I'm completely with you, and I'm not complaining, because all the technologies that we're dealing with right now, so not only the internet, but also, for example, the mobile phones, went through the same transformation in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
2G mobile phones, which people actually don't remember even existed, so the OG GSM protocol, basically supported only circuit switched voice and SMS messages as a side note. SMS wasn't even supposed to be a service.
It was not a part of the protocol at all. It was an added service way later.
It was a service that made sense to people who were doing the servicing. So the service messages, it was part of the signaling. So it became a protocol and something that people were interested in, because somebody said, okay, this could be nice if I could just send a text to somebody. But the original GSM was circuit switched, and it was voice-only protocol. And then now, if you take a look at what your usage of your mobile phone is, talking on it is something that you'd rarely do.
Not only that, it's VoIP-based mostly nowadays.
And then
as well.
everything is packet-based, and everything is VoIP-based. But the thing is that you are using your mobile phone in a much different way.
I agree. What else? Shifts in user behavior on the internet. I mean, when you look at the way in which the user behavior worked, let's not go to the 60s, 70s, and that's too old. No, nobody cares. But let's look at the difference between, let's say, tail end of the 90s and up to, let's say, 2005, 2010 versus today. I mean, the difference is night and day, the way in which everything worked. We still had people who were, bullies, posted BS, crapped all over other people and whatnot, but they were the minority. So that's the first thing. The second thing, every service did not contain a comment section, which basically everything nowadays has, or is a comment section, like all of the aforementioned social media. They basically just another big shithole, comment section. That's what they became. Everybody thinks they can shit on anything and anybody.
So now I have a problem with my words.
No, that word is not a problem, as I'm sure you know. Now, we had a recent experience. Basically, we worked, you don't even know this to detail. I just mentioned it in passing. It took me a whole week to debug an AI-based content check system that works on YouTube that constantly flagged one of our videos as meddling into the P process in US, which we never talk about. Never, ever, ever. Not because we couldn't, but because we just don't want to. It's not really all that interesting to us in a sense. Maybe it becomes soon enough, but you never know. But we were talking about, that was the episode about Amazon and Temu. We discussed 0p there.
But I think that when it comes to understanding what I'm going to mention the P word now. It's because I want to just No, I just want to say that when has mentioning P become more normal than saying politics?
I don't know. We just established that.
It's a huge problem. But when you come to think about it,
1 week.
No. The thing that I was, but yeah, just yesterday watching a video on about was there was an article done by somebody from Apple. It's a journal article, and they decided that they were testing if the AI is capable of reasoning.
Okay.
And they now have a proof that it is unable to reason.
Okay.
First and foremost, I have a huge problem with even trying to find out if there is any reasoning, because this looks like just testing for example, are metals vegan? Mm-hmm. Because you know what the property of a particular thing is, so you don't need to test for a property that has absolutely no meaning in the context of the given material.
Yeah.
So the AI thing, and I think that when you come to think about it, when you mention that P word, AI actually thinks that talking about Amazon versus Temu is P. Mm-hmm. Which makes sense from their perspective.
No, it doesn't.
No, it makes sense because this means that the actuality of the work that the AI or the materials that the AI went through defines things like, I don't know, a company from the United States, a company from China.
And all of a sudden, that's a P.
All of a sudden, it's not economy.
No, it wasn't even about economy. It was about our user experience.
Yes, but the thing is that suddenly it becomes that this is not economy. So any talk about two companies competing on the same market is not economy anymore. So the AI knows the thing, but we are pretending that it does not exist.
I have many sneaky ideas of testing this.
You don't need to be sneaky.
Yeah, I know. But I still have many sneaky ideas of how.
You're going to just waste two weeks of this podcast because I'm going to now think about how many different words can I put in that are going to be.
I'm going to create a couple of shorts with you.
Okay.
I'm going to be a little bit smarter than that. So no harm, no foul. Nobody cares because we don't.
But what I'm going to announce, I'm going to be creating a couple of shorts. I'm going to just be randomly mentioning 2, 3, or 4 different business companies. And without any context.
No context, no keywords?
No keyword, no context, and no nothing.
Just random stuff.
And it's just random stuff.
So you're going to mention company X, green, ceiling, and the floor.
No. I'm not even going. I'm going with Croatian company. So, for example, I'm going to say consumers in Plodine.
Sounds like P.
Yes, to see if this is going to get flagged.
Yeah, it's not.
For the record, Consum and Plodine are supposed to be two largest chains of the Croatian companies that are dealing in groceries. But I had trouble with actually remembering somebody who is not a global company, because they are not the biggest on the Croatian market anymore.
But this is also very relevant to our discussion, because that's also shifting the user behavior.
Which using the global companies?
No, your local topic.
But the thing is that when it comes to local topics, I don't think that the AI is so quick on the trigger when it comes to...
My point exactly, there is no policy about that. I checked for a fact.
I don't think there is no policy about any of those things. It's just because... is anybody of you following James Hoffman?
No.
The coffee guy on YouTube. So, trust me, James Hoffman is the coffee guy on YouTube, and there is a account that I'm going to mispronounce that is called James Joffman, I think, or something other. There is a permutation of the name and the last name. And what this account does is, with full permission of the actual person, it remixes the original videos in order to make them fun.
Okay.
So it does basically, it's just cuts and copies different parts of the video to make it saying something different. It took them 5 months to be reinstated back to YouTube with complete...
After being explicitly given permission?
No. They were given permission from the start. The actual Jeff Hoffman took 5 months of his time talking to YouTube to get this other channel reinstated. And now they got reinstated a couple of days ago, but all the videos got deleted. So they need to re-upload all the videos. Now YouTube is fine, but they need to re-upload the videos.
I have a sneaky suspicion that they are going to get deleted and flagged again.
Probably. I know that there was an incident a couple of years ago when CG Gray, who is also one of the big names in the old YouTube, got flagged as being a CGP Grey copycat. So they flagged his primary channel as he was copying from his primary channel, and it took them 2 days to wrangle that thing out. So the problem with the content detection, the problem with the content filtering, is becoming more and more of a huge problem, because the amount of content is rising, the internet itself is exponentially growing, and we are trying to use wrong tools in the wrong way to deal with the wrong problem.
Yes. Okay. Based on my initial, let's say, or my idea a couple of minutes ago, so shifting the user behavior, I would like to point out two things. They are really good descriptors of what I was about to say. The first one is a huge shift in the way in which content creation is being done towards the short video formats, which has happened because of various services that do that, like TikTok and YouTube Shorts and whatnot. And the second is actually a part of the previous discussion, which needs to be expanded on, which is social media fragmentation. You use the words of something like none of the social media actually work anymore properly, which, based solely on the experience of Twitter, I would agree with your experience, stuff that you mentioned. I would argue that some of the other media are not working. Social networks are not working properly as well. The amount of times that I have to click X on a Facebook wall is just incredible. It's becoming worse and worse every day. One of the things that I personally noticed the most in the past couple of years is the short video format. This one has taken over everything. It's on Facebook, it's on LinkedIn, it's on, of course, TikTok, Instagram as well. New services are being made for that, etc. There are actually services, you showed me one of those, that have the capability to kind of help you and tell you which parts of your long format video to cut into shorts.
Yes, so which part is engaging.
Engaging, correct. That's the keyword of everything. So maybe we should train the algorithm on that keyword. Engaging.
No. But the thing is that you need to be. What I explicitly hate about the internet nowadays is that since the content filtering is being done by AI, everybody is trying to create an AI tool that is going to counter this AI filtering.
No, they're trying to avoid it.
So we have a basically arms race when it comes to how to use the AI for the better or the worst in a given video. And this makes a video like what we are doing right now and the kind of discussion that we are doing right now almost impossible.
Yeah.
Because if you want to be a real person, you need to use real words that have real meaning. And the meaning has its own context, and the context cannot be a 10-second stretch. Mm-hmm. And the thing that is happening is that AI is just dealing with 10-second or 5-second stretches or sound bites, as they like to think about it. And the result is that normal, regular human interaction is no longer possible on the internet. when it comes to content creation.
You mean that's a part of the problem that we had with
Yes.
the episode? Yeah, I also got exactly the same conclusion, because I talked to many people over via email about this, specifically also in the YouTube ad space and the Google ad space. One of the things that really annoys me as a customer, in a sense, is it is incredibly difficult as somebody who doesn't do it every day, because I don't and you don't, to find the tools to actually contest those things. They are not easy, because one team is going to forward you to another team, this next team is going to forward you to another one, etc. YouTube promotions, for example, are really complicated. You don't see them in your Google Ads account. Just waiting for weeks for some answers, blah, blah. There are these architectural things that need to be worked out. But while that is happening, a lot of short format videos are still being produced. Maybe they're even too short for AI. That's also a topic that we could probably expand on. Maybe it's, 10-second video, why would AI react to that? Maybe it's not worth its time. But generally speaking, the way in which internet is being used in 2024 and the way in which it was used when we started using it cannot be more opposite.
I think it's just the sheer amount of content available and the sheer amount of content that needs to be...
Availability.
Not only, but it needs to be screened. If you want to have normal...
Coming from you want to regulate stuff.
Yes, but I never said that I want to unregulated internet. The worst thing that you can have when it comes to trying to communicate with other people is to have unregulated channels. I don't know of a single occasion when I had a forum or a YouTube channel or a comment section.
Go back to IRC.
IRC.
Same thing.
So
we had moderators and administrators who kicked idiots off.
I am completely for freedom of speech and freedom of expression.
Agreed.
But I think that the freedom of expression has its own limits. And one of the limits is when you are completely stifling other people's freedom of expression, you are going to be banned. And I don't think that this is a bad thing. There should be some sort of repercussion for trying to make freedom of expression a thing that says, not only a weapon, but a thing that says, I can say whatever I want without any consequences. The consequences are always going to exist. The freedom of expression exists only to stop you, the consequences of stopping from them being something the state can turn against you. But other people are going to dislike you for the things you say.
Yeah, that's a very, very big discussion, which we might have in a future episode. How does the idea of freedom of speech and whatever relate to the idea of internet and how that is being implemented nowadays? But yeah.
But let's since we are dealing with controversies, let's deal with the one of the
we're going to get like so. Who cares?
Yes. So
okay.
So for example, if I said that the Earth is flat,
okay,
this is my freedom of expression.
Yeah.
If you say to me that this is an idiotic idea,
it is.
It is your freedom of expression.
No, it's not. It's scientifically based fact and my freedom of expression.
But the idea of you being able to say that this is idiotic should be part of the freedom of expression, because it is. This is you are expressing yourself. If suddenly I say, okay, you cannot say the word idiotic because it requires my IQ level to be below an idiot. An idiot is defined as 70 points IQ.
Obviously not the intended use case of the word.
Yes, but the thing is that when you start nitpicking in such a way, and when you start when you start using freedom of expression in such a way, suddenly we cannot communicate. Because I need to have my right to say something, and I need to have my right to be completely shouted at for what I said. I'm completely fine with this.
Let me give you an example. I'm sure you're going to agree with this. It's because of the fact that we work together, we see each other practically every day, and we talk every day. I think there is no exception to that. And when we see each other in the office, we exchange "you are an idiot" statements on a daily basis multiple times. Not as a means of insulting somebody.
No, the thing is that you need to explain to people this is a cultural Balkan thing that is completely normal here. It is not
him
normal.
Saying to me that I'm an idiot and me saying to him that he is a jackass, we do not consider that to be an insult.
This is something that is different when it comes to different states, different countries, different generations, and so on and so on. But the thing is that even with generations in our country, this is completely normal. inside the professional I would say professional area of expertise, because when I think about any actual tight-knit community of anything, be it engineers, be it some sort of specialistic profession, plumbers, whatever, when they're among themselves, they feel free to be able to express by telling whatever, because this makes the community actually work.
Yes.
If you are able to tell somebody something completely obvious, and then this somebody being able to reply with something completely obvious. So if I say this is flat and say, no, you idiot, it is not, it's a curve. The thing is that...
It's not a curve.
Yes, but it is sort of, kind of.
Sort of, kind of, yes.
Yes, it's the...
He's sneaking in the terms, thinking that nobody's going to notice.
No, but the thing is that this is for this particular country and this particular part of the world completely normal. I know that there are other cultures in other states and other, I would say, communities and communication cultures that are completely different. So they're going to be, I wouldn't say lying, but they would have two different levels of communication. One would be formal and completely fake, and the other would be actually people thinking about something like what is actually happening.
You know what's the difference between us and those people? Our the two levels are much closer together.
Yes.
I like that.
So the electrons can do.
Yeah, we can interject.
Yes.
We can have fun.
So, but the thing
I
is
have
that
a perfect idea for
the tunneling is easier. But the thing is that
yeah,
yes?
I have a perfect idea for episode 100.
Okay, you need to stop to think about this episode 100.
No,
it's not even a whole
it's
number.
not a thing.
No, it's not even a whole
number.
so
well, we are going to have episode 100.5.
No, 128. This is the whole number, because I refuse to accept the decimal system as a rule.
Of course, there we go. He extends his nonsense. We need to pick a random number, or even better, prime number somewhere there, as something that we are going to quasi-celebrate.
The number of feet in a mile, that I learned that a couple of days ago, is 5,280 for some reason.
For some reason. Yeah, he's the king of random BS.
So if the people in the US can choose so random numbers, maybe we can just choose a random number to make a university.
I think, yeah, a random university.
Yes.
Now, I think for episode 100, we should spend an hour of an episode shouting, screaming, and cursing at each other. In our Balkan way.
I don't think so.
Why not? It
because
will be so much fun.
I don't want to explicitly give our students way of cutting out our voices and using them against us.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
On one of the courses of the first year students, they discussed different courses that they're taking during their education there. And one of them commented on our...
podcast?
No. One of them commented on one of our courses that we do. Doesn't matter which one. And they discussed the topic of the course, said that the course doesn't appear to be too difficult, that there is an open book exam or blah, 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 blah. And in terms of the professors, both of us, the comment was, professors seem really nice, and they give up the stand-up comedy show vibe.
And this is for a particular course I checked where I did something like 90% of the actual course. So it's probably me who is giving the stand-up vibe.
I think we're both really bad and good at that at the same time, depending on which type of student we have, but that's a whole other topic. I think we should put that idea to test. I have a plan for that. But going back to the original topic, you know.
What was the original topic? Okay, yes, okay.
We went so far away in tangent.
But we didn't, because this is the state of the internet. Now the state of the internet is the content. The internet has become the content. People, once again... No, but the thing is that when we were younger and when the internet was invented, we understood that it's just a technology behind the whatever
No,
was
we were
happening.
not. We didn't understand. We were amazed by it and understood it.
No, but we understood that this was a technology that enables us to send emails, transfer data, and whatever. Now people perceive internet as content. Now TikTok, for some people, means the internet. There
Yeah.
is no other internet. People are even ditching using emails because they think that this is not something that should be used, because the internet is YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, and who needs the rest of it?
I saw a video yesterday
Okay.
of a person that has 4 cats,
Yes.
small cats.
Okay.
That person puts the cats in the bed, human bed.
Yes.
Covers them with sheets. They sit, they lie on their backs, and all 4 of them watch YouTube videos.
This should be illegal because this is cruelty to animals.
I would also argue that, but the amount of the surprise that I got out of that was, palpable.
But the thing is that when you are dealing with the internet today, you need to think about the content, because as I said, people are interchanging the idea of the content and the internet itself. So it used to be that YouTube was the thing about the content. Now the thing about the content is probably TikTok. I don't know, depending on which generation you are talking to. Either they are completely into email and they don't know that exists anything other than the email on the internet. Some of the older people think that YouTube is the thing. Younger generations think that TikTok is the thing. I don't know what's next. But I think that we have reached the shortest possible length of the video that can be actually posted without it actually being images. So once you go under a second, you are sharing images. You're no longer sharing videos. So I think this is the thing that we have reached. So nothing shorter than TikTok could exist. Only thing could be that it could be unregulated.
Is that a challenge or?
No, it's just happening on the Twitter. What Twitter introduced is that they removed all the protections for the videos, so it's basically a cesspit. You can see anything that you are afraid of on regular Twitter right now, because nobody's trying to do any screening of any materials, except for the materials that are not talking good about Teslas.
Of course. I have a question for you on that part. While you were mentioning it, so I'm just going to follow up on it. Do you now understand, from my perspective, how stupid I think it was for you, as a, broadly speaking, normal person, it was for you to spend time on that piece?
Yes, but I don't think
whatever.
that you understand. You have a problem with not understanding that this is a ADHD thing.
I
You
perfectly
need to-
understand
but,
why.
because now I need to change the medicine. I need to find another compulsion.
don't.
I need to find another way to find random facts and random memes.
No, you want to HDD yourself into ADHD further. That's what
Yes.
you are now describing.
Yes.
And for that, I would like to give you a head slap.
No. But the thing is that the TikTok is something that is off limits for me, and the reason is stupid. I think that TikTok is too ADHD
For you,
for me.
that's
I
also-
cannot get myself to watch more than 10 or 15 videos in a row without thinking, okay, why am I wasting 10 seconds at a time for completely random videos? Because I still have this a feeling inside my head that is probably the result of watching too many movies that were on the regular TV or the regular scheduled times and so on. So I think that whatever I'm watching should at least have some sort of a point. And when I wasted
For
10
you.
minutes, watching 20 videos that don't have anything in common other than me watching it, I feel like I'm completely wasting the time, because my brain is not engaging in any of those.
No, it is, but it is different, and you cannot really live through that easily because of the fact that your previous 40-something years of life were based on the idea of longer format of content, whatever it was, 45 minutes to 2 or 3 hours, whatever the movies and the series were, basically attuned to be in terms of the time that they required. But the dopamine hit that you get out of one versus the other works differently. That's the thing, and you're basically detuning your brain from the shorter format of that, which I think is going to help you immensely with the said ADHD.
The thing is that what gives me a dopamine rush right now is when I see a complex concept explained in a particular way. I have seen a couple of those in the last 2 or 3 months, and I think that the reason why I'm seeing those right now and not before is because people have the money and the resources to use the AI in such a way that the AI is helping them to be concise and at the same time being able to explain things.
Okay.
And this is one of the good things about the AI. I was talking. You weren't in the office a couple of days ago. I was talking to a colleague of ours, and I was showing him the way that basically I have a kid, and I was asking AI to explain some extremely complex things to a kid to see what can be done. So I was telling AI to try to explain what a passive is in terms of languages. I was trying to ask the AI to explain what the second order differential equations are. What is the difference between the differentials and the integrals, and so on. And AI actually did an amazing job. The last one was the most complicated, the differentials versus the integrals. And the thing was that it wasn't as good in that.
Which is surprising.
No, the thing it was that it was just saying the same thing all over again. It's
so hallucinating.
No. It's not even that it was hallucinating. It wasn't saying anything bad. But the thing that it didn't, for example, when I asked it to explain to us what the passive is when it comes to a language, it says, okay, imagine you have a car, you are driving a car, or the car is being driven. So the difference in who is actually performing the action. But when it came to differentials and the integrals, the thing was that it says, okay, the integrals are just a sum, differentials is just a point in time, and then the integrals are just a sum, and the differentials is the point in time. So it just started circle referencing itself, and it wasn't able to actually explain neither of those terms. So AI is good at those things. It's when you take into account what AI can do to explain those things to you, and then if you are creative enough, when you turn those things into something like, I don't know, an animation or something, then complex things can be explained in a quick way. And this is what I like about the new videos. And this is what I'm looking for when I take a look at
new what?
New videos.
Okay. I heard new Windows. I was like,
no,
what?
No, you don't need any more Windows. Let's stop at 11. Please.
No, we need to go back. We need to go from 10 back. That's going to be better.
Okay. Anyways, now get us back on track.
Me, after all of the word salad that you just did, yes. You think I'm capable of it?
No.
Yeah, I'm usually the one who structures his chaos, but we are not in work, so right now I'm not even inclined to do it. But let's try. Privacy and data security. It's a topic that you broadly mentioned before. So we went from having .plan file in which you wrote everything about yourself in terms of the contact information, all to a situation in which you don't want to have any information about yourself anywhere in terms of, the date of birth, location, address, phone number, even email address. Nowadays is an obscure thing to leave out in the open, and people figured out various ways in which they can kind of like tell you what the email address is without actually telling you, something, and then instead of at, they say at something, stuff like that. I remember in the what we refer to as good old days when we started using the internet, and yes, it was way better back then. Live with it, the younger generation. we tended not to abuse that data because the concept was so foreign to us as human beings. That was first. And then second, we knew that we didn't have the resources when you think about it realistically. And although the future looked like it was going to go that way, and you didn't need to be a wizard to see that the data is one of the most important things that exist on the planet. I mean, it was obvious back then, our methodology of a guy, stuff like that. Somebody who can do something for you without you having to break your back or fingers or head or feet or whatever, But the level of meddling of corporate entities and AI and people as well, and the bots that you mentioned in extracting data, then manipulating data, then doing whatever with data nowadays is becoming very worrying. A couple of weeks ago, I saw some fake AI generated videos of a certain person. I could not distinguish between those two things.
But you remember that a couple of weeks ago,
you rendered the video or a
no,
sound
I
of
didn't,
me.
just a sound of you talking, and it was.
No, I could hear the difference.
No, I could hear the difference. But the thing is that somebody.
Was close.
It was close enough for somebody who doesn't know you well to actually doubt it, especially if I play the video, play the audio over something like a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I play it in high quality, and when you actually are able to listen to it in high quality in a quiet room, you can explicitly tell the difference.
Yeah,
but when it comes to playing it over the phone in a noisy environment, you could fool somebody.
No, that's exactly the reason why people are reverting back to very old methodologies of actually proving that they're who they are versus the AI generated contents. You've known about this as well in terms of the clients that we work with or for. Their financial departments get so much of this crap and so many of fake emails, with fake invoices and whatnot, that corporate entities kind of like adapted to that, and they have procedures in which every single money transaction needs to be, voice approved, directly approved, something, without, email is not enough anymore. And stuff like that. That's
yes, but
happening, and it's going to keep on happening.
No, there was a spam yesterday. 2 days
People are going
ago.
to start interjecting keywords into that.
No.
For
But
that
there was an actual attack on a company in Croatia with the use of voice prompts from a company executive.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to now become what is going to happen in the security world. We are probably going to switch to the what we actually saw in Star Trek.
What? We have Worf?
No. Do you remember how the authorization works in Star Trek?
Yeah, with the code.
Yes. And I think that this is going to be one-time passwords that are going to be used to actually authorize.
Are we going to go back to S keys?
I would think so, but using voice.
Yeah, just spelling them out loud.
Yes, you would just have a list of keys that you are going to be using, and either it would be a challenge response, or it would be just completely random keys that you have stored and pre-prepared for the authorizations. And this is something that is actually going to happen.
I'd always applauded the way of those, the way in which those technologies worked. It meant you had an extra piece of paper in your black book or in your wallet or something, but I consider them to be extra secure, especially for the time at which we were using them, which was still in the 90s, but back then we didn't have a secure shell yet. We were all doing Telnet and RLogin and FTP, which are plain text protocols. So, and the implementation on FTP was non-existent, so Telnet and RLogin mostly. So we were already quite security conscious back then. And primary reason for that was sniffing, but the technological reason for that was actually something else. It was the fact that switches were not yet widely used. Everything was connected by hubs, in which you could have just sniffed everything.
This is one Internet thing, and the other thing was that there was such a low effort needed for your traffic to be tracked, misinterpreted, sniffed,
Yeah.
whatever.
It was
that,
super easy.
That everybody kept doing it. So what you actually did is that you were completely sure that somebody is going to misuse your data. So you prepared that
But
you're
not
going to,
in malign ways in which the people do it today. In just mostly funny, semi-funny ways usually, not with the express intent of, destroying you, which is what is very popular today. Taking down people in videos is a thing, has been for years. Destroying people.
Yes, but the thing is that we are going to change the amount, the way that we are approaching security. And when it comes to this, I think that I have a business idea.
You do? Please
Yes.
don't say it out loud.
Yes, I think that we need to talk to some people about some people.
About some people.
Yes.
That seems iterative.
Yes, but the thing is that just to explain those two things that Vedran was talking about quickly, and the ways that you can actually authorize yourself across the voice. The idea of faking a voice of somebody is something that is not dissimilar to what was happening before. If you imagine that we had internet 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and that everybody could listen the communication between you and the other partner, the thing was that you needed to invent a way of being able to communicate and to make sure that you are talking to the right person in such a way that the data can be visible, but still can mean that you're communicating to the right person. There is a Diffie-Hellman transfer key exchange protocol, which is an amazing part of mathematics. I think this is one of the amazing things that when it comes to actually creating something out of nothing. And the other thing is that we could use either one-time passwords. This meant that you and me both got the piece of paper that was unique to just those two pieces of paper. So there was only two copies. One, you got one, I got one. And then when I wanted to introduce myself and say I could just use the password on my piece of paper, I would just identify myself by using it. I would just note that I used this password, so I shouldn't be using it again. And you wrote down the password that I was using, checked it, and then also...
So like in the movies with nuclear submarines.
Yes, so the thing was that they were using the same thing.
Yeah, exactly the same thing.
And the other thing that you can do, you can create a table that has rows and columns, or whatever the setup is. It can be 3D, that has different words in it. So you can actually do the challenge and response. You can ask me, tell me the word at row 333, and then I need to find the 3D word. Then I can say, okay, this is this word. We check.
It was 4 times 4 characters, 5 times 5. It was something that is manipulative. You can say how long the words you want to be.
And then what I do is that I can actually scratch out those words, so so they don't get used again.
Yes.
So nobody can actually say what is happening.
Single use.
Single use. But this is the way that we can also communicate when using voice. So this is not something that is insurmountable. It's just going to make a lot of people unhappy.
Which ones? The ones listening to you?
No, the ones that are going to say, okay, why do I need to keep a table nowadays when everything can be digital?
So basically everybody.
Yes.
I mean, let's shorten that one. Okay. What else do we have on the list of stuff to talk about? For example, I'm going to skip the whole digital divide. You talked about it a little bit. I'm going to skip the mental health and the internet impact. It's obvious what it's doing. I don't know if you are feeling the effects of that, but we recently had an experience with our colleague from the office. He spent 3 or 4 days at home with fever, and one of those days he spent in the afternoon, TikToking a little bit on his smart TV. And when he came back to the office, he described that experience from my perspective of thinking it's a horrendous experience which he went to. He watched like 20, 30, 50, whatever TikTok videos, and after he woke up from the experience, he was like, what the hell just happened? And
I would call it he became a little bit stupid for a couple of days.
Yeah, I think I'm feeling the effects of that still.
No. But the thing that
He has become 0.5 tasking, not single tasking.
no. But the thing that was that I was
Just
thinking that it was high fever situation, and I think that this was compounded by the we're looking at TikToks.
Oh, you think that brain fire happened?
Yes. So something happens to his neurons, and his neurons got fried, basically.
Yeah.
But yes, this is another thing. But let's leave it for a separate episode, because the way that internet is influencing us, and the way that people are using the internet to influence us directly, is a huge problem.
It keeps evolving, not necessarily in good ways.
No, it keeps evolving in the worst ways possible, because what people are trying to do is they're trying to use the internet to manipulate you. So they're trying to find out a way how to manipulate you even more. But the thing is that everybody's doing this.
You're not?
No, I'm not, but everybody's doing this as a business.
Yeah.
Even if they are not doing it, they get punished.
MAAB, manipulation as a business.
So-called optimization.
Yeah,
Business
SEO.
optimization. But the thing is that if you are not doing it, you get punished, because your stockholders think that you should be doing it, because you're not getting the money, your money worth.
You're not up to speed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, but
Enough.
should we finish this episode, because we went on a couple of wild tangents.
And off the rails more than once. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for being with us. I hope that you can tell us why do you think that internet is wrong right now, and then when you take a look at this podcast in a couple of days, in a couple of years, you can you can probably say that the internet was even better right now than it is right now at the moment that you're seeing this.
So like, share, subscribe, and comment. That's what you're saying.
Yes, and push the something, and then do something else, and make us popular and whatever.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you.
we crave it so much.
Thank
See ya.
you. Bye.
Bye.